Welcome back again, folks, to the Profitable Sheep and Goat Production Podcast. I'm Leon with Lost Creek Wholesale.
And I'm Matt with Glenbrook Farm.
So today, Matt and I are going to just give you all a little update what's happening on the farm, a little bit of farmer chit chat. So hopefully we don't bore you guys too much. Some people say they like to hear farm updates, so we're going to do another one. It's breeding season again, Matt. You have any rams turned out? What do you got? What do you got happening?
Not yet. We AI'd some ewes last week, and we're planning to turn out some rams here this week, but just haven't gotten to it yet. But hopefully get that done yet here this week. So, how
Oh,
about
yeah.
you?
Yeah, we turned rams out let me think, a week ago, Saturday a week ago.
Gotcha.
So we got stuff split up into 2 groups, and I pretty much ran all my ewe lambs, all my January and February ewe lambs in one group along with, yearling ewes, and we kept all the mature ewes in another group.
Yeah.
So rams are marking ewes, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, I have my teaser rams in. I saw they were really working last week with that cool weather we had, but I just wasn't quite well. Yeah, I wanted to get those AIUs bred and then maybe have a little bit of a gap in before we start our natural breeding, but I'm chomping at the bit here to get rams out. It's time.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a weird one. So we brought the ewes into the barn, ran them through the chute, sorted them into the 2 groups we wanted, and I the front part of my hoop building is where I had my hay stacked and stuff, and there was a skid sitting there with 2 bags of shelled corn on it, big 100-pound sacks, and so the sheep were just running around in there, and, of course, they were walking over top this 2 bags of feed, which I didn't think much of it. Like, I put them in there, they were just gonna be in there for a little bit. I had to move some lambs out of the pen where I sort from and stuff, and they weren't in there that long, I didn't think. I didn't think they'd get the bags open. Well, they probably wouldn't have got the bags open, but here I forgot I had pulled the string on one of those bags, and those things were over there just scarfing up corn. I could hardly have it. Anyway, didn't see anything till about Sunday night. I had a couple ewes that they weren't feeling very good.
Yeah.
Some of them had diarrhea, walking a little bit like they were a little achy. And I never had this happen before, but probably about 8 of them at least got like respiratory, like I mean snotty,
Well,
snotty nose, just wheezing, blowing boogers out their nose. Do you ever see that?
yeah. Actually, just this summer with a group of ewe lambs, I had a similar, well, I had let my feeder run out. I had these were ewe lambs that out on grass, the feeder pretty much wide open, and I left it run out. I thought it was only a day, but it must have been longer. And then I filled it with before I had like a mixed grain, like corn, barley, some protein pellet, and I filled it with just straight barley because they're older ewes now or older ewe lambs. They just need some energy. And they must have just loved that stuff and just been hitting it. So we lost a couple through that. We had some, like you said, like just respiratory issues with some. And we actually had some that just came up lame, which was, I never had that. Yeah, it was from that overload. They just came up lame and I treated them a little bit, but they didn't seem to want to get better. So I just send them to the auction. Uh, so, yeah, that I think that's the only time I've had that. Usually they just get runny and die if if it's too bad, but and if you don't
Yeah.
treat it, but, um, that's disgusting. But you didn't lose any, did you?
I lost one like it was a 2018 model ewe that, I mean, it wasn't the could have been worse, I guess. Anyway, so I forget where we were with that, what to trim some of that out, but
So somehow we got to dying sheep again.
yeah. Um,
Oh, you were talking about getting your ewes ready for breeding and, um, how they got into that corn.
yeah.
So it's kinda amazing that like, that little bit of time, like, how long were they scarfing away at that stuff?
Well, I mean, they were probably in there for at least, I don't know, probably 15 minutes. I don't know how long it was anymore, but, um, once I realized what they were doing, man, I couldn't get them off that pallet, man. These sheep were sick as whatever, climbing all over that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But and I finally got in there to where they were, and what the world is a whole bag open. And anyway, the string was pulled on, and there was there's no, yeah. Then I kind of remembered that, yeah, I had opened that one, got a little bit of feed out of that bag.
Mhm.
So anyway, we hit them with antibiotic. I did put some sodium bicarb out.
Yep.
Hit them with antibiotic for 3 days, and they all are back up and running and happy. So except for that one we lost. So could have been worse.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's actually a good topic to talk about, sheep that get into feed. Have you ever used the charcoal?
I have used, yeah, I did already. Just activated charcoal that we had on the shelf here, but something I was using with some of these used, the worst ones, yeah, you can get that last stand for calves or something. Is it called Jump Start? Maybe there's two, same manufacturer makes two of them. One has a green, one has a red label. One's called Last Stand or something like that.
And
I
the other
know.
one's called Jumpstart, I think. That
Yeah,
that sounds right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was using that
Which
on
which one?
the red one, which I think is Last Stand.
Okay.
Do they both have charcoal in?
That's more than I could tell you. It sounds more like a last stand thing.
Um, maybe it doesn't even have charcoal in, but I'm just looking at it here now. Yeah, Last Stand. It says maximum strength. I figured it would just help with the digestive upset that the guy had
Um,
going on.
mm,
Um, I'm just looking here. It's got corn oil, egg protein, kelp. Man, it's got all kinds of good stuff in there. Almost sounds like it would taste good. I don't think that has charcoal in.
yeah, but anything like that that kinda helps get their
It's a
stomach
probiotic.
going. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But that's the tough thing though is to get their stomach going. I know some people mix, sodium bicarb with water and drench them too, but I don't know what the rates are or anything. Um, we usually just put it out free choice, but if they're really bad, they're probably not gonna take it. That's more for the ones that are medium cases. They'll hit that and it'll help them get going again.
Yeah. So anyway, they mostly all pulled through, and hopefully they breed up. But
Yeah, might mess with your breeding season a little bit.
so now we got those rams in. I have my universal feeder out there. We've been, well. See, the thing is, they were already getting some corn. I had a mixture of soy hull pellets and shelled corn in the feeders, which is probably why only 8 out of 90 or something were got hit the worst. Probably a couple big pigs that just,
Well, I was gonna say those are the big hogs that could hold their spot on the corn.
yeah. Yeah, but so they were already getting supplemented just a little bit from the lick feeder. So that probably,
Probably help. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So we did have the rams out to breed for fall lambs. I think we had mentioned that earlier in the podcast back in, May,
yeah.
June. We did not ultrasound anything. Probably don't plan to this year. So those ewes are, anything that was exposed, they're all running. with back in the same groups.
Yep.
So I think we're just gonna play the wait and see game and see what if we have ewes that udders start dropping, we'll figure we're gonna have some lambs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we bred a bunch of ewes for fall lambs here too, and we did ultrasound. Didn't have the results we would have liked to see. Um, actually kind of had some weird. Well, we did a little bit of an unintentional trial, which I think I had maybe talked about on the podcast this spring. I know I had told you about it, Leon, where I pulled cedars and I forgot to give him PG 600 until later that day. I thought about it, so I'm like, ah, man, I don't wanna get all those groups in again and give 'em PG 600 now, and it's not right when we're pulling the cedar, so I'm just gonna skip it, and we're gonna see what the results are. And then the rest of our cedars we pulled 2 days later, and then we gave PG 600. And I don't know what to make of these results, so I'll throw them out there. They are what they are. Overall, on our mature ewes, we had a 55% conception rate, which again is not what we'd like to see. But then with the ewes that did get PG 600, we only had a 36% conception rate. With the ewes that got cedars but no PG 600, we had a 67% conception rate. So I don't know what to make of that other than that probably next year we're gonna split it half and half again and see what happens. And here's the kicker: we had some fall-born ewe lambs that would have been about 7 going on 8-month old
Mhm.
that we seedered and bred, and we used PC 600, and we had about an 80% conception rate on those, which I was really happy with maiden ewes the first time they're getting bred. They're getting bred to lamb at a year old. I was really happy with that result. In the past, we haven't had as good success with maiden ewes. So,
How
like,
old were those ewes?
6 to 7 month old.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, they'd lamb at a year old. Um, I don't know. Go back to the confusion of what's the best way to breed for fall lambs because I don't know what to make of those results this year.
So,
Other factors in there or not.
yeah, that is interesting, and somebody, if it was one of our podcast listeners, I wish they would call me up and refresh my memory, but somebody told me, I can't remember if it was on the phone or if they were actually out at the farm, and we were talking about this out of season breeding, and he said that there's some data out there that shows that using PG 600 again and again when used, you get like a reduction of kick out of it basically.
Hmm.
And I just was doing some searching right here, and it does look like maybe there's a little bit of stuff out there, but I don't wanna quote anything yet because I need to dig into it a little more and make sure it's something that's, reputable.
Yeah.
But if there is something like that, it'd be interesting
It
to hear about it.
yeah. There seems like there's a lot of I mean, there's obvious a lot of different things that work there. What I go back to always is all these people that do AI, like they're dialed into what works and what doesn't. And they're all using PG 600. Now, it's still possible that each time you use it, it's a little less effective. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're at least seeing enough of value that they're always using it. So I don't know. Um, I, yeah, I know some people have told me you don't need it. Some people have told me you're probably wasting your money. I, I don't know. It's a good discussion.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to get someone on sometime that's a bit of an expert on it to explain it to us better.
Yeah. But it is interesting that the ones without have a better conception rate this time, but that hasn't held true from, like, last year. I don't think that would've.
Well, I didn't try it last year. Uh, no, we had tried it. You had tried it.
Yeah, because I ran out, but
Yeah.
I was also reusing, cedars, though.
Right. There were some variations there. That's why before I take anything from that data, I want to redo it and see if it happens again. I mean, there's a lot of variations in there that could have affected it. Because again, talking about people that do AI, when I was out at reproduction specialists group there, they had a open house for their new sire sender they built this spring. When I was out there, it was really interesting how uh, like they tweak their programs according to the time of year and all that. But they were talking about how even just a weather change can affect the results they're getting. Where like they were set up on this one farm. I think they may have been doing embryo transfers in this case, or no, I think it was AI. Well, whatever it was anyway. The one day they were doing it overnight. A storm blew in, and the weather changed completely. And this is in a like they're doing it in a indoor facility. So it was just like the pressure dropping that really changed. But their results from those 2 days were completely different. Same protocol, same animals, everything, just completely different results just from a weather change. So there's a lot of factors that go into getting these ewes bred, especially out of season like that. So I'm pretty careful to not draw any conclusions right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, I feel like I get more and more confused every year. I don't know.
Well, I know I think we've talked about it that before, there's a lot of things that play into this out of season breeding. I mean, we have genetics, we have nutrition, we have environment, and sometimes it seems like this storm system would be environment, but
Yeah.
there's a piece sometimes that we can't quite identify what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it seems like there's just happenstance. It just sometimes it all the dots connect just right and it works really good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, we are expecting a decent amount of fall lambs, and that'll be in another 3 weeks here. And they should all come in one shot because we pulled all the cedars within 2 days of each other. So it'll be a fun week here later this month. So
that's one advantage to having a lot of ram power.
yeah, yeah, I like those seeded groups. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to know how many you can handle.
Yep.
So.
So what's happening with your AI groups that you just did?
Yeah, so that was a group the group of 30 ewes. Most of them we bred to, well, there was 10 taxel ewes that we had bought in some taxel semen, that actually originally would have been imported from UK. We bought it here local. Um, and AI'd some of our ewes to that. And then we also had brought in we brought in some Australian white semen and AI'd some of our Dorpers and a couple Katahdins to that. And then we bred some Katahdin ewes naturally to a ram uh that I borrowed that's getting a bit old to do natural breeding. So we collected them and AI'd them and did it that way. So and at the same time, we AI'd 4 ewes that we are gonna do embryo flushes this week. So 6 days later, we'll flush those for embryos and put them in recipient ewes. So excited to see how that works out and what kind of results we get out of that. But um, I'm pretty excited about that.
How many recips do you have ready?
Probably too many. We so like I said, I have 4 donor use, and I was going to program 20 recips, and then I got thinking about it. That if they, I was thinking, and we can only put one recip or one embryo per ewe. And I was thinking, boy, that's not very many. All I need is, if they have each of the donor ewes gives us 6 embryos, we won't have enough of ewes. So I programmed 30, and then I'm like, no, duh, we can put 2 embryos per ewe. So I'd have enough ewes programmed for 60 embryos, which we're never going to get to with 4 donors. Not unless we'd have just crazy results, but we're not gonna get to that. So I have extra, so we'll just use the ones we need, and then the rest of them that we have set up, we'll just breed the next go around here.
Yeah. Can't you are you gonna, like, store any of the embryos?
We could. So that's the other thing, if we have extra embryos, we can freeze them and store them. But I wasn't looking to do that, but probably would have been smarter to keep. I mean, I think 20 recip use would have been a good number where we likely wouldn't have used all those up. But if we did, we could always frozen some embryos for later use. But your
Sure.
highest success rate is still to do fresh.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. But yeah, I don't know. You really can't, there's no guarantees in it. You really can't get any accurate numbers on what to expect because it seems like it's all over the board. You might get 2 or 3 embryos per year, or you might get 18 or 20. I mean, um, I think a good average would be maybe 6 to 8, or maybe a little higher than that for a good average. But yeah,
Mhm.
so we'll see. And we did 2 of those ewes were again bred with frozen semen. So probably like frozen semen tends to not have quite as good success as fresh. So I'm pretty excited to see how that works out. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from it yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're doing there. Oh, and we also collected a couple rams. And there's a couple more that I want to collect yet. So if anybody is interested in doing AI, doing artificial breeding, we have semen on Texel rams, we have semen on Dorper rams, and actually we collected our Romanov rams, so we have semen on Romanovs now, and then we have semen on a couple of our top Katahdin rams. So we have semen on some really good Katahdin rams there if anybody's interested.
So where did you take your use for the AI?
So we've been using Rachel Weiss. She's out in Greencastle, which is about 2 hours west of here. Um, she's really good. I guess we've only used her one other time, and that was in the springtime, and we had pretty good success. So, but she's well known for that. So, yeah, that is a bit of a process setting the ewes up for that. There's a whole drug therapy or whatever to set them up for it and all that. And then the procedure itself is actually pretty quick. I mean, probably 2, 3 minutes per ewe. Maybe 5 minutes from the time we load the ewe up till she makes a complete loop. Um, doesn't take real long to do, but it's the whole setup for it that takes a while. So but yeah, if anybody's interested in that, I'd be glad to talk with people. The biggest challenge is just getting started and getting used to the program and all that. And obviously there's a good bit of cost that comes with it. So you gotta have a good reason for doing it. But um I think it's something we're gonna see the commercial sheep industry use a lot more going forward, in Australia and New Zealand, I mean, they use it, it's commonplace, and, that they use it over there, and I think we're gonna start seeing it more here too, so at least I'm hoping so.
Yeah, I think I'm getting very close to the point where I might never buy another ram. I don't know yet. Just
Yeah,
keep a closed flock and just buy in semen and AI to something to keep the stud ram back.
that's kinda what we're looking at, I mean, my thing is, you can go out and spend a couple thousand on that really good ram that you really like, and you bring him home, he might die on you, or
We don't know anything about that, do we?
would never happen. And not to those expensive ones, it's only the cheap ones that die. Yeah. He uh, but, yeah, so you have that risk, and also the other thing is, when we go out and buy rams, we might like that ram really good, but when we bring him in and start using him a year or 2 later, we might, "Man, I wouldn't pay $1,000 for this thing anymore. He's just not breeding that well. He's not doing what we thought he would." Um, but you paid 3 grand or whatever for him, and you're stuck with that. So, with semen, rather than buying that ram, you can, um, you can buy some straws of semen out of that ram and, maybe get a grand or so invested in that ram, but then that's it. You can use it in your flock. You have the genetics. You don't really need to use it again. You have the genetics now you can keep from your own flock. And if you don't like it, you're at least you're only out $1,000 or whatever than a couple thousand. So plus you don't have the biosecurity risk of bringing rams in. And the flip side is if you do buy that 4 or $5,000 RAM, and if people are using semen, um, it's it if you buy that expensive RAM, you can probably sell some semen out of them, so those really good RAMs are probably probably only gonna go up in price if people know that, "Well, I can buy this RAM and sell some semen out of them and get some cost back." So, but either way, I like it. I like the idea of not having so much risk in one RAM.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's something we're gonna keep seeing more and more of.
And I keep pushing it to more of the commercial guys too. I mean, it's pretty easy for us selling seed stock to say, "Hey, this is worth AI." It's sure we might get $100 or something per ewe uh, into them with the breeding and the semen and everything. But, if we're selling rams for a couple hundred or a couple $1,000, it's pretty easy to justify that. Now, for a commercial guy that's just selling meat lambs, it's not as easy to justify, but I do think it has a place. And the place is if you have a well established ewe flock, but you want to keep improving that ewe flock, you could breed some of your best ewes to the very best ram out there, a ram that you probably couldn't afford to buy, and then keep all those daughters to build your ewe flock on. The more I do of it, the more I'm like, man, I'm surprised not more guys are doing this. But I guess I want to promote it to the commercial guys too, because I do think there's value there. It's just I mean, you have to be at a scale to justify that, I think, and you have to be somewhat established, I think too, but I think there's some value there,
Yeah.
but the upfront cost is really the big hurdle to get over.
Yeah, and the biosecurity aspect of it is something that really appeals to me.
Yeah. Yeah, so that pretty well covers the fall lambing and AI breeding. What about, getting ready for winter? Did you get the hay in you needed this year? How was your hay season out there?
Boy, talking about winter, boy, some of these mornings starting just about feel like it, ain't it?
It is. It's pretty chilly.
Some mornings are in the 40s. Hey, we have almost everything in the barn that we need, but I told the guy that makes my hay I need about another 50 bales. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Mm,
It's dry. We could use a little bit of rain, but we should get a third cutting.
yeah.
Should get a third cutting here yet.
How was you weren't dry though this season, were you?
Not early spring, early summer was wet. Like it just
Yeah.
cool, rainy, but it started getting a little dry. We were just in Bedford County here for the weekend, and we're not near as dry as what they are. They're really
Yeah.
dry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we were really dry going into spring, but then we were wet for a month. And we started getting a little dry here in August, but then we got timely rain, so we're pretty good set. I mean, it's I have some grass that I want to seed yet this fall, and it's a little dry for that right now for seeding new grass. So could use a little rain for that. But as far as the crops go, um, they'll be fine with what we got here. So we had a pretty good season. Um, got some good hay made, and yeah. Oh, we did. I think I told you last year we after we chopped barley for forage, we planted cowpeas and sorghum. And mostly it was mostly cowpeas. We just put a little bit of sorghum in for some standability because cowpeas are really whiny. And we chopped that and put it in a bag to feed as a protein source. We'd done that last year and we did it again this year. Um, Last year our yield was okay, but we were really dry. We got think like 3.5 tons to the acre last year. This year we did really well with that. We got plenty of rain. It was 60 days from the time we planted it to when we harvested it, and we got almost 7 tons an acre. Now I'll have to see what I haven't forage tested that yet. I'm gonna guess our protein quality is probably gonna be a little lower just with it growing that aggressively. So, yeah, we'll see how that feeds this year, but even last year, we didn't quite get the protein that I was hoping to. It was I think last year we were about 18%, and I was hoping to get up more in that 20% range where alfalfa would be, but, um, pretty
That's
happy.
still that should make some milk though, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should. It's just we're looking to feed it with corn silage. So I would prefer a little higher protein so we can feed less of this and more of the corn silage. But the lower protein, we just need to feed more of this, which is fine.
Yeah. Could I do you think you could wet wrap that stuff?
Yeah, yeah, that's what a lot of guys do. We've been chopping it and put it in a bag.
Yeah. But if I would adjust the
You would go about half and half on your sorghum and cowpeas if you want to wet wrap it
dry
as a
yeah.
complete forage. That's what a lot of guys are doing with it. Yeah, but I wanted it more for the high protein, um, so I was going lighter on the sorghum. Um, yeah, and if you plant that half and half, I mean, sorghum really gives tonnage, so you'll get a lot of tonnage off of that.
I wonder if I'd have to chop it at the baler to make that feed nice, if the sorghum's pretty big.
Yeah, I don't know how I think your ewes would eat it. I mean, you'd wanna chop it young enough. You'd wanna cut it and wrap it young enough, but I think your ewes they might leave some of the stems, but I think they would eat it pretty good.
Yeah, but how tall is sorghum gonna be in 60 days?
Oh, this was I mean, it was up above my head. No, this was an exceptional year.
I know, but so you're gonna cut that and wrap that up in a bale. I guess what are they gonna do, just tear it apart?
Just chew on it, tear it apart.
I don't need sheep running, taking a bite out of the hay rack and dragging out a 4-foot stalk of sorghum.
Well, I have to ask, the guy that actually got me started on this, that's how he became aware of it, is he was buying, bale-aged bales that were half and half, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't chopping them. I have to ask him if they were wasting a lot of that sorghum or not, I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know on that, but it does make it fed really well for us last year. Um, it does make a pretty good feed. And the reason we got into it is with alfalfa, because you get 5, 6 cuttings a year off of alfalfa, we don't need that much acreage. So then it's not enough to make it worth the while to chop and put in a bag, which is what we'd like to do. So then we have to bale it, round bale it, and wrap it or dry bale it. And then we have to chop it to put it in our TMR. And
Yeah.
chopping hay is a pain. And I'm tired of it. So we still use that as a filler for, when we don't have a lot of ewes in the barn or don't need a lot of protein. But with this, we can do 12, 13 acres, whatever, and make a nice bag and then be done with it. So works out pretty nice. So,
Yeah, that'd be 10 acres, 70 tons.
mhm.
Be a boatload of feed.
And that was after we had chopped barley off of there. I would have to look how many tons of barley and ryegrass we had chopped off of there as a silage. And then we did 60 days of the cowpeas. And now I have a seeded oats in there, and that sorghum is growing back as well. So we're gonna take another cutting of oats and sorghum off of there, and then we're gonna put barley back into that field again this fall. So
I wonder how long you could work that rotation like.
well, I wouldn't wanna do barley year after year like that. Like, next year, we'll go to corn or beans or something after the barley.
Yeah.
I want more of a rotation than that, but last year, we kinda did the same thing, except it was dry, so our oats well, we didn't go back into it with barley, but we did seed oats after the cowpeas, but we never harvested much of that because it was so dry. We just grazed it off and then put a fall crop in there yet. So won't work like that every year, but either way, it's a lot of tonnage off of a couple acres.
Yeah. Do you know where you getting your cowpeas from?
King's Agri Seed,
Okay. You
they
you
handle.
you don't know what your cost per acre for seeding is?
Not off the top of my head, I would have to look at that. I have been wanting to look at that because somebody was asking me, like, if that would be cheaper than growing alfalfa. Like, if you need a lot of acres of alfalfa, does that still pencil out better? And it's possible that it does, just because with annuals like this that you only get one cutting off of, you have all that cost of the seed and seeding it that needs to be absorbed by that one cutting. So I'm not sure that we're being more cost effective than alfalfa. It's just in our operation, it fits a little better.
Yeah. See, what's intriguing me about it is alfalfa up here where I am, it works in the gravel ground, but a lot of my ground's clay ground, and I don't say that it doesn't work the best.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the cowpeas might really do well in a situation like that. You'd have to
You
look up where they.
you don't know what rate you're doing of the cowpeas, do you?
Oh, I think our seeding rate of the mix, and actually this year we had put a little bit of forage soybeans in there as well. So we had cowpeas, a little bit of forage soybeans, and then we had the sorghum in there, and I think we were doing like 45 pounds an acre. Um, I would have to look what the like just straight cowpeas, what the recommended rate is, but yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Did
I w
King's Seed, did they, uh, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
King's yeah, did they mix this mix for you, or was this a pre-mix one they offered?
No, they mixed it for me, or a local dealer here mixed it for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, so we
You don't
tweaked it. So last year we just did the sorghum and cowpeas, and then this year we added some forage soybeans in there. Yeah, and actually I think we added a little bit of a brassica in there, which I don't think that one did that well. I think it pretty much got smothered out because when I was looking at when you like this stuff was 4 feet high. I mean, easy. And then the sorghum was probably a little bit higher yet. And you pull in there and you start cutting, and I mean it gives a lot of feed, but you would think there'd be a lot more there from just how tall it is and everything. But those cowpeas they're really viney and they have big hollow stems. So like it really goes together when you cut it. So I was looking if we could kind of fill up the space in there a little more, but the problem is both sorghum and the cowpeas are so aggressive growing. You need something that's really aggressive to go with them.
yeah,
Uh, and I think we'll do the forage soybeans again, just to get some more diversity in there. But I don't know that that added much tons or anything necessarily for us.
mhm,
Um, but they were definitely there, but in that situation, they got really spindly too, just because they had to grow to keep up.
yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, keep that in mind. So we're gonna renovate 2 hayfields here this fall yet, um, but I have a rented field just down the road here yet that I probably only have it short term where I hate to reseed it in hay and then lose it in a year, but
Yeah.
maybe that'd be something to good place to try something more short term like that.
Yeah, and I
It
don't
it it needs the field needs, we need to redo it anyway,
yeah.
but I
And I don't think you need really good build up soils to grow cowpeas. Like I think they're pretty tough. So if it's kind of run down ground, they would probably be pretty well in there. Even even if you were to in the future want to put it in permanent hay, it might be good to put it in annuals for now to kind of build up that soil a bit.
right.
Um, yeah, so but
Yeah,
anyway,
it
yeah, we got plenty of hay in this year, so still have a cutting or so to make, but should be in good shape this winter.
yeah,
All
very
we
good.
need all we need is lots of lambs to feed.
There you go. Alright, well, I think that's gonna be a wrap for today.
Yeah, we did wanna mention that we do take listener questions on the podcast, so if you have questions, call in, and if we can't answer them, we'll find a expert that can answer them. So that's something we haven't gotten many questions here recently, but definitely something we do. And also, if you have recommendations for people that you would like to have on the podcast or that we should have on the podcast, let us know.
Yes, and if you already gave a if you had a question you submitted and we somehow missed it, we try to keep a running tab on that, but if we missed something or you didn't cover something good enough, just, don't feel like you're gonna be harassing us, just yeah, let us know. Send the question back again. And we do have some of you put some suggestions in for some people to have on the podcast. We weren't able to get to all of them. Some of them maybe we just didn't get a time to work yet
Yeah.
for all parties involved, or maybe we haven't gotten a hold of them. We do have for you goat people out there. We have a episode coming up with a producer that's running several sows and nannies. So I'm looking forward to recording that episode, visiting with those folks.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care, Matt. See ya.
Yep, you too. Bye.
Thanks again for listening, folks, to another episode of the Profitable Sheep and Goat Production Podcast, brought to you by Lost Creek Wholesale, your supplier of quality sheep and goat feeding and handling equipment. If you're looking for a feeder to supplement those ewes or does prior to turning out the rams or bucks here this fall, check out our website. Or maybe you need a tub and alley system, spin and trim, scales, or maybe you need a portable handling system. We got it. Visit our website there at www.lostcreekwholesalellc.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch up with you folks next time.